don't think I'll ever get used to this.
It's not so bad.
Oh?
I am going to play devil's advocate here and say there are not too many mini-games in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What's up, everybody? I'm Joshua Thomas, you're watching the Failroad Express, and it's time to talk about a big topic right now, and something that I was hoping to hold off on and get a better sense of what exactly is optional versus non-optional minigames, as I'm doing a no minigames playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and those of you who've played through it may already know that a no minigames playthrough is not possible. You actually have to play several different minigames in order to just beat the game. But I just wanted to go ahead and make this video. I know that the devs have already said that there are not going to be less minigames than there were in Rebirth in Part 3, and I'm actually glad they said that, because a lot of people out there were saying there's too much, and yet let's listen to ourselves. Let's take a step back here and say, what are we actually complaining about? Because in Final Fantasy XVI there were pretty much no minigames whatsoever, and it felt like they were missing from that game. And then in Remake there were a few mini games, but we just kind of wanted more. And so in Rebirth, they gave us more. They gave us a lot more. In fact, they gave us so much to choose from. It was pretty awesome. But I think when people say there were too many mini games, I don't think they actually mean that. I think what they meant was that the stuff locked behind the mini games was what was important that they couldn't gain access to. Take, for instance, in Cosmo Canyon, the Gears and Gambits mini-game had some awesome filler content behind it involving the members of Avalanche. And yet there are people out there saying, no, we need to get rid of minigames or have less minigames in Part 3. And I think that's sort of the wrong message. And I'm glad that the devs did say that they are going to change how minigames are implemented into the game. But I also don't think that these minigames should just be worthless. After all, having important things locked behind the minigames makes them more enjoyable to play. I mean, imagine if Queen's Blood didn't have this side story behind it as you were playing this awesome minigame. It's an incredible minigame all on its own, and quite possibly one of my favorite card games in any video game that I've ever played. But having that backstory and that side story going along with it, having this sort of mystery behind it, makes it even more enjoyable to play. So in Part 3, I do hope that they still give us ample cause to want to play these minigames, but at the same time, perhaps give alternate methods of being able to enjoy the content that is locked behind them, while at the same time being able to give us just enough tantalizing items or content that we want to complete them. Because just think about it, if you take away the valuable reward for completing these minigames, what do you feel upon accomplishing a high score? Is there even a reason to play it, aside from, oh well, it's a minigame? I mean, having the awesome item or rare crafting materials in these makes them more valuable in a sense. So let me know what you think. I'm about halfway through my no minigames playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'm going to release that video when I'm completed with it. But also, let me know what you thought about the minigames in Rebirth. So if you were one of the people who thought there were too many minigames, what was it about those games that you didn't like? Was it just the games themselves? I definitely agree that if a game isn't fun, just don't have it in the game, like that wrestling minigame where you basically had to pause spam it just to be able to beat the highest levels. I think that's poor quality minigames, and things like that can go by the wayside. But having all these other really fun and well thought out minigames is a boon and only strengthens the quality of the overall game itself. And I hope that Part 3 continues to have a wide variety of minigames, and yeah, just let me know how you guys want them to be implemented, what it was you didn't like about the minigames in Rebirth, and which ones you had the most trouble with, because I, for the most part, was able to beat all of the really important ones. And so if you guys want maybe a little bit of some strategy tips or pointers for one of the minigames, like Gears and Gambits, let me know, and maybe I can make some other explainer videos on those individual games. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this was kind of quick and to the point, and maybe even a little rambly, but I hope you'll check out more Final Fantasy VII content on the Failroad Express, including more videos about the minigames. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll check you guys next time.
I am so bored right out of my brain. If I don't die first, betcha I'll go insane.